so we are recording. So this is you logged in, and I can see some instructors and some tasks that are assigned to those instructors. Okay, perfect.
So they're all here, and when they go, I'm imagining they're seeing the same thing, but you go to update, like after we get this error.
Okay. Was there also a problem uploading syllabi?
Well, yes. So they got there, so then they couldn't get to the syllabi step. So what I did was I deleted all of these that were in here, and I sent new ones out so that they would get the email again. And when they went in through that email, they were able to get here. And some of them did get to the step, obviously, because now it's on the liaison step. And I just spoke with our liaison, and when he goes here and he sees this page, he hits yes, and then he hits complete step, and it just loads and loads and loads, and then nothing happens. So then,
so like times out.
Yeah, it just stays here, so that when he hits back, it's still, at the liaison review syllabus step, so it's not following through. But he's not getting any sort of error. It's just nothing happened.
Okay.
And then the other error that I'm seeing, so to see what the instructors were seeing, I created like a test teacher person.
Yeah.
So I could see the emails, and that's how I figured out that they would get the second email, and then they could follow that link to then upload their thing. Now when you go to delete it, it cannot delete because it's dependent, but there's nothing there. It's like not connected to anything, so I don't know if there's like a
not like an instructor review or anything else that's assigned to it?
No, there's nothing assigned. It's not even in a course. It was, though. So it was, and then it deleted, and now, so I don't know if there's like this like pending, and I tried deleting my or clearing my cache and everything. It just still won't. Yeah. So.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Yeah, there are a few things that are going wrong here. Okay, so let me see. Is that all of it? I want to make sure we capture all of it.
Let me see.
Or at least what you're aware of right now.
Those are the two, and it gets so like when you try to, I was getting the whole find active step error that you get with that when I was putting them in. So I would go to here, I would go to course reviews, and I would put them in, and unless they had created an account, I would also get the find active step. Like, so one of our instructors, Kim Dry, here, she hasn't created her user account yet. So when I was first putting them in, it would send me that same error that they can't find.
So I don't know if that's designed behavior in that technically I don't think they're supposed to have a course review until they've gone through that instructor account. Is that not how you guys? Yeah. So that might be an error that's like legitimate. Yeah.
Yeah.
That might be an error that's legitimate, but let me double check with Duffy. I think that's in my mind that's how the system would work, is that it wouldn't let you do a course review until the student or the instructor's account has been completed. But let me triple check on that just to be sure.
Yeah, and that's what I thought with that, and that's why I went through and deleted them and thought maybe that's where the glitch was in it. So I don't know if now these are stuck because they were attached before, and the review was deleted and then redone after. I don't know if that's why they're stuck or what's going on.
Explain that to me again. Explain to me how they were originally attached and then how you deleted them, and so I understand why you deleted them.
Yeah.
How were they originally attached? Did that happen like naturally?
Yeah, so I created the instructor. So we created the instructor like this, with the add button.
Add instructor, yep.
While they were still instructor create user account, that was there. I then went into courses, clicked the course, so they're the CSE courses, then went to course reviews and added. Then when I was messing around with a test teacher, I figured out that when you hit add, it sends them another email if there's an email link. So I went through and I then hit delete for all of the ones that were pending, and then for only the instructors who had created accounts, so the list there, I then went in and hit add and then did this. And so then when it went to instructors, or when we went to course reviews, then they could see it because they got that email. I don't know if they got it originally, but at that point then they did get the email. And then
when you add the instructors, are you checking the request credentials box?
Yes, we figured that out, and we did that so that they got the initial email to create their accounts.
Okay.
If that wasn't checked, then they didn't get the email to create their account.
Yeah, they don't get an email. Correct. That's how
we figured that out.
Okay, I'm sorry. I guess did we not do a training session with your staff on how to utilize it?
Well, initially when we did it, it was the check credentials was supposed to be optional. It was supposed to just be when we created it. This is what the original plan. When we created it, it automatically sent them the email. So initially, I did not know that we needed to hit because initially it was supposed to be like a checkbox, not an actual link. So I figured that out. I was like, oh, let's request credentials, and it sent it out.
I'm sorry. I feel like I was in on some of those development calls, and you're right. I thought that you had the option to request credentials, but I thought that meant that we would check that box. Like that's what that option was. But maybe I misunderstood.
Initially it was like a checkbox that was optional to request their credentials, and I'm not sure, but we got that part's fine. We figured that out, that you hit that, it sends out the email, they create their profile, and then they're all stuck on the create profile. So then once they've created the profile, we can do the course review, send that out, and so that seems to be running in a different kind of, I don't know how technology works, but a different line. So we have the two lines to create the personal information, and then the course review line. So they're stuck. The create personal information is stuck, but they're able to go past into the the course review, and then upload it, and now it's stuck. That the liaison can't actually send it through. So I don't know if that's because the instructor hasn't completed their personal information, if that's still stuck, but they have, because we didn't put in the positions. That's all on them. So I don't know why now it's stuck on the liaison review syllabus.
So yeah, just to make sure that I'm following correctly, I do recall that originally you guys wanted the option to have request credentials, and that is what that box is. So I feel like we met that need. Like that's why that box is there. So if you don't check the box, you will not request credentials. But you're right, we don't send them an email.
It's not a box though. It's a hyperlink.
Click add.
Yeah, it's this. Oh, now it is.
Yeah, it is a box. So I'm like, wait a minute.
It was a hyperlink.
Oh, okay. Because I'm like, when you were messing around, I'm like, that looks like a box to me.
No. Before it was a hyperlink. When I put all these instructors in, it was a hyperlink in there.
Okay.
And
I understand.
You would hit the hyperlink, and it was. Yeah. No, that's where it was weird.
Okay, sorry. So I wanted to clarify that, because what you were saying and what I was seeing were two different things. So that makes sense now. It appears that maybe it has changed.
No, that is different. In the last few days, that is different.
Okay. It might have been changed with the first fix, that Duffy kind of thought he had, resolved the problem.
That's what it was. That's where the fix was. And maybe that's why everybody's stuck still. I don't know. But it was a hyperlink before.
Can I understand for the instructors that you do not want to request credentials for, do you still need to have a course review attached to them?
I think if that's how it works, then that's fine. Like this Kevin Johnson, there's just instructors being thrown in here that I have not put in here. He's attached to a course, but we aren't running a course review on him because he's not part of our pilot. So that's why he's just blank. He hasn't done anything. But I think if that's how it works, it would make sense.
Well, he might be attached to like a discipline, but does he have, click on course reviews. Does Kevin Johnson show up under course reviews? They're not course documents.
No, course reviews. So he should not, because he's not connected to a course review. So he is not in. He also has not created an account. Because so he has not. Kim Dry, she is attached.
I think I can explain that.
But she's not yet.
So I can explain Kevin Johnson. I know this one for sure. Amy was out at Maple Grove Junior High in Dunkirk, and she was out helping students register. And there were some sections that were not showing up. So she called me and said, I need you to add a section of, let's say, math or English at Maple Grove. And she wanted the teacher listed. The only way for a teacher to be listed is for me to add them to your database. But I bet you if you click on Kevin Johnson, I did not request credentials for him. All I did was add him so his name would show up for students to,
see the hyperlink.
Hyperlink. You're right.
Yeah.
So
what happened was,
okay.
I thought originally the requesting credentials was optional.
Correct.
So I created, I'm going to run through the whole step by step. So I put in information, hit update, and so I was looking at a list of just like Kevin Johnson, nothing happening. And I sent out an email to everyone, like, did you guys get an email? What's going on? They're like, we haven't heard anything. So I'm like, well, let's mess around with it. So then I went in and I'm like, well, let's request credentials. You hit it, and it does, it generates, and then that sent out the link for them to create their account. Yeah. So they then do that, and then they get to, which is kind of nice that I have Kim Dry. So then they get to this set where it says instructor create account. And it says, if you click it, it does this, and it hits, I've not hit complete step because she has not completed it.
Correct.
So then they were all stuck on there. So then they see that error, the unrefined method, find active, that's the error that they see when they go in. And I asked them if they saw that error to then re-log in, and they were able to re-log in and enter their information like this.
Yep.
Enter their information. However, when they hit update, they get it was successfully updated. But so then it goes to here sometimes. That's new. That's exciting.
Well, I think that's because it's you. See, like, I think if we log in as a teacher, it would be different. You're logged in as a college. Yeah.
Well, let me see. 1 second. Let me pull up something else. I created a
teacher, right?
Student. Yeah, I created them to see what they see. So let me log in to that one.
Yeah, let's try that and let's see what that looks like.
Of course. We're not good. I hate Internet Explorer, especially on these computers.
So do I.
So this is what the instructors see. The instructor complete personal information. You type it in. They type it in, and when you hit update, it says it was successfully updated now, but it's still showing that step.
Right, as an active step.
But so it's not passing them through. So that's why I then created the link, and they get an email that looks like, please pardon my really messy email box. So then they will get the credential review notification, and they click that link, and then because I don't have a credential review anymore, I deleted it, it brings them back in, and then they can do the credential review. So that's how I kind of got around it, by sending that second link to their active account so that they could then do that, so that we could at least get stuff in there. So I figured out that was one way to work around it. I don't know if that then messed up everything. If that's why, because they haven't completely updated it, if that's why they're now stuck, that the liaison can't do it. So that's where we're at with it.
Okay, yeah. So I'm actually going to stop recording, and then if